Okay, and I will plug the microphone in as well. Let's do that. As you hopefully can you hear me a little bit better. So it's lovely to be back. Yeah, I had great plans, lots more classes, but I've had to kind of shelve those just for a little bit longer whilst I focus on, let's face it, homeschooling for the foreseeable. And yeah, back to sign contracts on a new venue in Newport Pagnell, but that's kind of, yeah, it's there. It's all done. It's ready for when we can get back. So I guess we just have to keep going, keep strong. It's really fantastic to see so many of you here, and with lockdown, it's so important to keep ourselves that sense of community and keep going. So we won't go crazy today because it's our first session back, but let's just refocus into our bodies and get them moving. So feet roughly hip width. Let's just start by standing tall. So think yourself tall. Lengthening up through the spine. Can you feel how your tummy muscles are just kind of going, oh, hello, I remember how I have to do something. And then we'll pop our thumbs under our jaws, fingers behind the ears, and just gently draw the base of the skull up a little bit further. Yeah, good. And then release the hands. Little circles, we're going to do 3. Roll those shoulders down and back. Good. And last one, just a little, let those shoulder blades slide down your back to your waist. Keep that tummy engaged. And I'll just remind you during the class just to kind of suck up and in. Here we go. Okay, hands onto the pelvis. Let's take some pelvic rolls forwards and backwards. Brilliant. And just being aware of how that lower back feels. It might be a little bit tight. It might be fine. And let's bring the pelvis back into our neutral position. Slide the hands on up. Make sure you're still scooping up and in with your tummy. I don't know about you, but when the jeans go on, I definitely need to pull the tummy in at the minute. So have that feeling. And let's take some breaths. Breathe in. And let it go. Excellent. Again. And one more in. Good. And just, I don't know about you, but I feel a calm settle over me when I get to that point. It's like my brain knows that it's going to click into gear now. Let's do a basic warm-up, a warm-up of our bodies. Actually, it's not so basic tonight. We're just going to kind of get into these bodies a little bit. So let's start with some circles. We'll start to the right shoulder. Let's go round the bottom of our chest first. Up and over the top. We'll take it 3 times. Good. Just going so far as this feels comfortable for your neck. And when you get back to your right shoulder on the 3rd one, we'll head back in the opposite direction. Well done. And we are coming into the last one. Finish at the right shoulder and come forward. Good. Little shoulder rolls forward now. Good. So we'll start small and then we will work and get bigger. Okay. Start bending the elbows so we can make a bigger movement into these joints. Yeah, that's it. Well done. Good. And now let's take it back. So you might find you need to start a little bit smaller, or you might find that now you can go straight into it. Oh, good. Okay. So I don't know about you, but I've definitely got things moving now. There's some pops going on. And lower down. Good, and let them settle. Let's just think about those fingers. So give them a wiggle for me. Into a fist and stretch them away. And again, and stretch them away. And obviously just go as far as is comfortable for you. So I'm just taking the hand, drawing those fingers back and then taking them down. So if you've got any wrist or hand pain, just do a little bit less, do what feels right. And the other one. Good. Give them a shake out. Well done. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a breath in, float the arms up to our shoulders in front, and exhale, lower down. Nice and easy. Let's take them out to the side. And lower. That's it. Breath in. And lower. It's a simple movement, but one that we can focus on, thinking about what your shoulders are doing. So just being aware if the shoulders are moving with the arms. So we're going to keep those sinking down, which is going to be easier said than done, let's face it. Good. Last one. Just taking it at your own time. Don't worry if you're out of sync with me. And lower down there. Give those legs, arms a shake. Okay, what we're going to do now is just start working into that upper back a little bit. So we're going to do some arm reaches and retractions. So now we've got that kind of good arm position with our shoulders, arms floated up. Pick a spot in front of you so that you've got a nice eye line up, that you're not looking down. Make sure that your core is engaged. And remember that thing about thinking tall? Stand a little bit taller. With a breath in, let's reach those arms forward and exhale, plug them back. And I'll just come a little bit closer so you can see my shoulders. Breathe in and exhale. Good. And back. Well done. And lower to the sides. We're going to get into this upper back a bit more now. So we're going to start moving this top part of our spine. So what we're going to do this time as we reach forward, we're going to round through that upper back. You can see my pelvis, again, I'll come a bit closer. My pelvis, as I do that, is rolling backwards. I'm pulling my tummy in and I'm standing up. And again, let's do that. Good. That's it, well done. And we'll take 3 more. And release. And again, and release, and last one, and lower those arms. All right, good. Okay, last of all, what I want us to do is in this position is come with our hands in that sort of Cossack position. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a shoulder roll, and we're going to open those arms out, come back. So we're kind of drawing circles. The hands come up to your face. Good. If you want, you can change the positions of the arms. Good. And open out and lower. Well done. Let's just come into a lunge now. So find your lunge position, checking that those feet are going to be going straight out in front of you. When we come into a lunge, a lot of the time the back foot wants to kind of go out to the side, which gives us a bit more support, but we want alignment. We want to make our lives harder. So just check that those toes are going straight out. Bend your front knee forward. Now, if that knee starts coming ahead of the toes, forward of the toes, just open those feet out a little bit further for me. Check what's going on with the spine. So if you can see, I've got a rounded belly, so I know my pelvis is rolling forward, tilting forward. So I'm just going to tuck under, making sure I'm standing straight, looking out in front of me. Good. We're going to take the lunge forward. So we're going to walk forward and swap legs. So roll through that back foot, peel it off the mat, up into the toes, and then step forward. Hopefully you're stepping roughly hip width. We're then going to change feet. Good. Roll back up and forward. So I'm breaking this lunge down into its little technical components. Roll forward and back. So sometimes kind of your lunges can feel a bit wobbly. So if we break it down and start really thinking about the movement of that rear foot, that back foot, into your toes, be secure and move. So if we rush things, that's when we can get unbalanced. Good. All right, let's keep that going just for a little bit longer. Make sure your core is engaged. That's going to help with your stability. And also keeping that eye line straight out in front of you. Good. When you get back to your left foot being forward, we're going to hold the lunge. Let's see if we can go down into it a little more deeply, get that stretch into your leg there. Tuck that pelvis under now, so we're transferring the stretch from the back of the leg to the front hip flexor. the bit joining the body and the leg. Roll up through the foot, come out of it, step forward and swap. And we'll do it one more time. Good, see if you can stretch into that a little bit deeper. And now come out of it a little bit, come back to center, tuck the pelvis under. Let's get that stretch. And roll up out of it and step. Nice, okay. As it's we've had a break, let's do just a few, check in with a few Pilates squats, and then we're going to come into sort of a wider stance squat there. So feet roughly hip width, standing nice and tall, zipped up and in. See if you can bring those pelvic floors up. Now breath in and come into your squat. Exhale, come up. Good. Lovely. That's it, well done. So only going so far as you can maintain your alignment, because that's what this one's about. Let's take 3. Good. And come out of that last one there. All right, so we're going to step a little bit wider. Feet are going to come out at an angle. If you need to keep those, if you've got any problems with those knees, you need to keep the feet straight apart, then you can take the feet to roughly shoulder width and still have those knees going straight out of the toes. Going to help with your support and balance. And just make sure we're not putting any twisting into the joints. Okay, and up and in, and let's squat down. Good. Come forward. So still thinking about bum going straight down. Just check you're not sticking it out. That's it. Good. So challenge yourself. See how low you can go whilst keeping that spine tall. Good. And we're just firing up these thigh muscles as well. Excellent. And we'll pause there. But we're going to keep the legs a little bit wider. So we're going to come into side bends. Now, a couple of options here. If you want to do a side bend with your feet roughly hip width, that's fine, or a little bit wider. If the joints and everything are okay, what we're going to do is have the feet just out at an angle, come over and do our side bend there. So please pick the position that's going to be right for you today. All right, everything's up and in. Good. Let's come over into our right leg. I'll mirror you. Take a breath in, extend that hand up and over. Good. Take a breath in and lower down. You guessed it, we're going the other way. Breath in. Over we go. Keep extending those fingertips away. That's it. So the movement is all the way to your fingertips. So if you think about it, it's from your left foot to your left fingers and down. Good. And think about the diagonal line that's going through your body. So think about that hip extending, just going that way in the opposite direction a little bit. And we'll take this as our last one. And reach away. Good. Getting a good stretch into these sides. And just flick out those legs. Check them out. My mat's already gone for a walk. That's a good sign. Twists. Let's check in with twists. Hands together into the chest. Let's just keep them nice and anchored today. Really, I'll come a bit closer. Really want to focus on these waists. Chins in line with your fingertips. Okay, really need to zip up and in here. Let's go to the right. Take a breath in. And exhale and rotate. Keep your hips out to the front. Good. Inhale, back to center. And again. Excellent. And back. Good. Twice more. Good. So really just focusing into these obliques, these waist muscles here. You should really feel them working. If you're not, try and anchor those hips straight out in front of you. Really hone in on the movement. Last ones. Oh, fantastic. And come out, just let it all go. Okay, let's come into some roll downs. Love this bit. Coming down as far as is comfortable for you. Whatever feels good for your body. Just checking that those arms are nice and free as we go down. All right, here we go then. Let's take a breath in. And breathe out. Chin comes to the chest. Let's roll on down. Knees soft. And just checking that the head and the arms are just loose, hanging over your feet. From there, take that breath in. And start restacking back up. Just being aware how the back is feeling. And if it's feeling a bit tight coming back up or going down, maybe try going halfway. Good. And again. Yeah, never feel that you have to get down to the floor, because you know by the end of the session it's going to be much looser. Good. And come back up. We are going to take 2 more. As you come up, just think about letting the shoulders settle down and the head's the last thing to float back up to the start. Good. That's it. As you come down, if you want a little bit of an extra stretch, why don't you hold on to the back of your calves? Just draw yourself in, then release and roll back up. And 1 more to go. Coming back up, and as you come back, visualize those vertebrae stacking that little bit taller, creating that space. Good. Okay, so let's come on to the back of our mats. We're going to come down to the floor. I'll throw out some different levels as we go, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of exercises now, and we'll do them one way, then we'll come back to them and we'll do them slightly differently. So the first one we're going to do, well, let's just come back into child pose, have a nice little stretch out there to start with. So we're going to roll down in your own time. Choose if you're going to come straight down onto your knees or whether you're going to come out into your plank. Bend the knees and out we go. Good. It can be a full plank, 3/4. And then lower those knees down, open them out. Push the hips back over your heels, or if you feel more comfortable, keep the hips lifted. Reach the arms forward if you can in this position. And enjoy that stretch. Good, okay. So we're going to wake up the body now a little bit more. We're going to do some crouches, and we're going to do them from an all-fours position. Now, if you're struggling with weight bearing into those hands, if you've got blocks or if you've got some thick books, you can pop them under your forearms and you can come down here. Don't worry if you haven't, that's fine. So forearms or into the knees. Now we're going to come into a crouch. So we're going to tuck those toes under. This is really wakes up the abs. So I'm going to throw out a couple of more adaptations in a minute. So you want to lift up with the abs. Really make sure that your pelvic floors are engaged. Tuck your toes under. And we're just going to lift the knees into a hover. Now, I want you to have 3 breaths in and lower. An alternative here, if you prefer, would be to come up into the downward dog. Okay, so you've got those options there. And lower down after your 3 breaths. We're going to do 4 more. Everything really has to be engaged here. Float up. If you're doing downward dogs, I'll do about 3. Good, and lower. Keep that chest lifted now, and up again. So you should be on about your 2nd downward dog if you're doing those. And lower, and up. Good, you should be feeling those tummy muscles engaging now. And now we'll take 1 more. And for your downward dogs, if you're doing those, we're going to come up into the last one. Excellent. Good. And let's just push back into child pose just briefly. So if you're anything like me, my abs have now woken up, wondering where the Christmas cake is, I think. And let's come back. Come back into an all-fours or on your forearms. And we're going to take a leg stretch. So we're going to stretch the right leg behind us. Stretch it out, stretch that heel, replace, swap sides. Good. And lower down. Just make sure again that those abdominals are up and engaged. Good. And the other side. Okay, we're going to do a few more of those. And what we're going to do is just speed it up a little bit. So it'll be a breath in, lengthen through the leg, exhale, lower. And the other side. We're just going to take it for 10 more seconds. Good. Well done. And 3, 2, and 1. And lower. Just push back into child pose, release those arms just for a moment. Okay, we're going to come out onto our tummies now. So come out onto your tummies. Lower yourself down. Now for this one, we can be up. So the arms can be sort of in line with your chest in that E position. If you prefer, of course, open the arms out a little wider and just have your head with your nose just hovering above the mat. Okay, so we're going to be doing the legs. So I'm going to give you 2 options here. If you're in this position, just making sure that the tailbone's tucked under, so you're just kind of scooting that bottom under there. Your glutes are engaging. And we're going to reach the leg away. So you can see, what I'm doing is reaching the leg away from my body, so giving it a stretch away and the legs floating up. Okay? So we've got that one. So you crack on with that one. Or alternatively, I'm going to give you the cobra. So we're going to go down, we're going to focus on the top half of the body, keeping the body set up the same. Taking a breath in, floating the head and chest up, and then releasing down. So you've got working the top half of the body or the lower half. See what you feel like. Well done. Good. Just check that that tailbone is staying tucked under. That's going to support your lower back. Good, and it's really nice seeing you guys doing different things there. Good. All right, and again, we're going to do that for 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, and release. Take a moment, just rest the forehead on the mat. Righto. So while you're taking a quick breather there, so we are doing lots of arm work there. So nice lot of arm strengthening. We're going to repeat those 3 exercises, but we are going to tweak them. So let's give that a go. To start with, we're going to come back up into the all fours position. I'm going to give you 2 options again for all of these. So the first one is we are going to do some mountain climbers. So we're going to do them nice and quick. We'll do mountain climbers. That's option 1. Alternatively, if you prefer, we can do superhero arms if you want to work the top front of the body. Okay? So you've got your 2 options there, mountain climbers or superhero arms. And I'll swap between the 2 so you can see me doing both. Start position is the same. Zip up and in. Pull that tummy in. Bring up those pelvic floors. We've got a really strong core. Lift up through that chest. No slouching. Lift it up. Okay, so if you're doing superhero arms, we're going to slide the hand out with a breath in, up to the shoulder height, exhale, bring it back. Just watch when you swap through those arms. Alternatively, you can do the mountain climbers, you can be on your forearm or up on your hands. Just make sure the fingers are spread a little bit wider for me and bring your weight over your hands so it's not all going into your wrists. Any problems with the wrists come down onto your forearms, okay? All right, let's go. Up into your planks if you're doing your mountain climbers. We're going to do it for about 30 seconds. So let's go. Bring the knee in and swap. Good. Feet are coming back out hip width. Wow. Okay. We're definitely back into Pilates. Well done. Keep it going. We've got halfway. 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep it strong. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those knees down. Woo! Okay, and sit the heels back. Good. I don't know about you, but I got the blood pumping. Felt good. Nice big breaths in there. Good. Let it all go. What we're going to do now is come back onto our front. So we're going to come down to the floor. And again, I'll give you a couple of adaptations depending on your bodies, okay? So we're going to get up in this cobra position. And this time, just to make life more complicated, we're going to bring in some coordination. Tuck under the bums, tuck under the tailbone and engage those bums. So if you're not sure, if you just have a feel along the side of your glute here and you'll feel it, something hard, that's your glutes engaging, so they're nice and strong and supporting you. Tummy's in, chest lifted. What we're going to do is we're going to reach the left leg away. So it might come into a float, it might not. But at the same time, we're going to float the right forearm off the mat. Then we're going to swap sides. You're going to feel the lower back working hard, okay? So really engaging that lower back. If you just want to do the legs, or you can do the arms in the cobra position, absolutely fine. And if you want, alternatively, if you want to swap back into the cobra, that's a third option, all right? So, one, both, something completely different. Just whatever you do, make sure the tailbone is tucked under, chest is lifted. So we're going to start left leg, right arm. Reach the leg away, float the arm up and down. Good. We're really working those sides of the back with this one. And go. Keep the tailbone tucked under, really important. That's it, well done. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down, let those glutes go, let the tummy go. You can rock the hips from side to side just to help release the back of the legs. Good, okay. So I did say there were 3 that we were repeating. So we're going to do the crouch, and we're going to do them on our forearms. So we're going to come down on the forearms. You can make a fist side on, or if you prefer, have the palms flat on your mat. 2 options here. So the first one will be toes tucked under. Again, you really need your core here, so pull up and in with those abs, really keep them engaged. And we're going to float the knees up. We're going to hold it for 3 slow breaths and lower. Alternatively, what you might like to do is bring the knees a little further behind you, come up into your hands and alternate between that cat stretch and child pose and into your 3/4 plank. So that's 1 3/4 plank into the child pose or the crouch. You pick. Okay, I'm going to start with the crouch. Up and in, toes tucked under. Get ready to move. Take a breath in. Breathe out and come lift those knees into a hover. Nice big slow breaths in and out. That's 3, 2, and 1. Wait till you've exhaled. Take an extra breath in. Lower those knees down. Okay, and again. If you want to drop into the 3/4 planks, feel free. Keep that chest lifted now. Take that 4th breath in, so that extra breath in before you lower. It will give you more control. We're doing 5 this time. Let's generate a little bit of heat. Keep going with your 3/4 planks if you're doing that option. 2 to go if you're in your crouches. Well done. Good. Lower. And 1 more. And lower. Release into child pose there. Turn your palms up to the ceiling just so we're taking everything out of those arms. And if you're comfortable, bring the hands down alongside your feet. Good, and relax. Well done. Okay, let's roll up into a kneeling position. Roll up there. Good. And we're going to come down onto our sides. So let's lie on the side, doesn't matter which one, whichever you fancy. If you prefer to be in semi-supine, come into there and I'll be with you in a moment and I will come, so you can be on your side. If you prefer, come into semi-supine and I will give you guys all some options. So if you're on your side, decide how much support you need. Might have a bent leg today or just a banana. I'm going to go banana today. So I'm just going to bring my foot to that forward edge of the mat. Just gives you a little bit more support. Pulling up and in, feeling of that waist lifted and floating the top leg up to hip height. We're doing lifts. So we're going to take a lift in with a breath in up to the ceiling and exhale lower down. Keep the pelvis supported. Count your own 10 and I'm going to come into semi-supine for those who are there. All right, let's do a similar thing. We'll just do the 10. So roll the pelvis in, float the leg into your tabletop position, and let's take it up to the ceiling. Let's do circles. So if you're in that position, you can have the legs straight. You might prefer a tabletop position and do knee circles, that's fine. Give me 10 in each direction. Back the other way and lower down. Good. So that's your semi-supine option. Alternatively, you should be nearing your 10 if you're on your side. Good. Good, that's it. And lower down if you're on your side there. Well done. Once you've done your top leg for the side liers, what we're going to do is bring this top leg forward and over, so it's bending down. And you probably guessed it, that we're giving some space for this lower leg to do the same thing. So if your leg has been to the front corner of the mat or bent, just bring it back now straight in line with your body. Lifting up and in, bring that bent knee as close into your body as you can, just to kind of, otherwise you are rolling a little bit. That's okay. Flex your foot, similar thing to we were doing on our fronts. Take a breath in, reach that foot away from your body and you'll find it'll lift. And lower down. Good. If you're in a semi-supine position, pause for me and I'll be with you in a minute. That's it. So really lengthen through the heel. Find that natural lift. So you've got about 6 or 7 left to do. You do those. Carry on with those. Again, for those of us who are in semi-supine, let's just move into the arms. And what I'd like you to do is find that neutral spine position and we'll come into scissor arms. So you think about floating the arm up. Or alternatively, you can do those leg circles on the alternative leg or swap in with the scissor arms. All the time thinking about keeping those shoulders into the mat. Good. Excellent. Lift up. Well done. When you finally finish with those 10 lower legs for the side liers, just come into a bit of a ball and give everything a rub. Good. All right, looks like most of you are done there, so really well done. Okay, we're going to come up into side bends. So if you're in semi-supine, come on up and join us ready for some side bends. Normal bits. Do it in seated position if you prefer, and that could be legs straight in front of you, a little bit wider. We're coming into a lift, so if you're on your side, decide where you want to take it. Be on your forearm, you could stay down with the hips down, or tonight what we're doing, rather than a full side lift, I want knees squeezed together, front foot heel in top heel in front of the lower foot, and we're going to lift up into our knees, lifting the hips, okay? So we're going to lift those hips. If you want to stay down, then what I want you to do is think about sending the hip and the arms in opposite directions, or do it from a seated position. So loads of options, loads of adaptations. Pick one that's going to really work and get you the most out of your body, okay? Alrighty. Whichever you are, lengthen through the spine. Feel the waist lift and the chest open. We're going to take 5. Take a breath in and exhale. Up and over we go. We'll stay down. Lovely. Breathe in. It's always the descent, it's the hard bit. Lots of control. Good. And let's keep that going now. Good. Breath in. Lower down. Good. You might find you do a couple of lifts and then you stay down. Good. Use that out breath to help you control the movement back down. And lower. Last one. Good. Loads of strengthening into the arms tonight. And come there. Good. All right, let's swing straight round and we're going to do it again on the other side. So again, pick if you're going to be on your side or whether you're going to be on your back, and I will throw out those adaptations for you there. So side liers. Pick where you're going to take that lower leg for support. Make sure everything is up and in engaged. You've got that hand for support. Float your top leg to hip height and just checking another foot's flex. Toes straight out in front of you. So just check down the line of your body and make sure they're not kind of poking up towards the ceiling. All right, breath in. Lift the leg as far as you can keep your core. So watch that waist collapsing and exhale down. Good. Crack on with your 10 semi-supiners. There we go. There's a bit of my Bristolian coming out there. Let's come into neutral spine. Let's do some toe taps. So float the leg up into tabletop. Let's really think about our control here. Lower down. Feel how the lower abs engage. Gently tap the toe onto the floor before pointing it back up. Keep going with those and we'll finish that movement with the others. Good. Slow it down if you're in semi-supine. Yeah. Good, makes it harder. There we go. Lovely. And for those legs, people on their sides lifting those legs, as you lift the leg, make sure the waist stays lifted and it's not collapsing down into the mat. Good. Okay, if you're in semi-supine, I'd like you to give me 4 more of those. Everybody else, let's bring that top leg now in, so it's in a bent position supporting us. Make sure your lower leg is straight. And again, have a little peek. You can peek down through the gap between your front leg, just checking that your body's in alignment. Flex your foot. Draw everything in and then breath in. Reach that leg away and it might come into a hover. And lower. And back up. Right, that's 2. You've got another 8 to do. Keep going. If you're in semi-supine now, what I'd like you to do is you can either stretch the leg, have a couple of leg stretches, or arm reaches. So arms up, shoulder width apart, and reach one arm and then the other. That's it. So we're just getting a stretch through those shoulders there. Good. Well done. And lower down when you finish those. Keep going with the arm stretches if you're on those. You're going to take a breather with the legs. Good. Okay, now everyone finish what they're doing and we're going to come up ready for our side bends on the other side. Adapt as you need to for your side bends. You know where you need to take it. Okay. Let's go. Just check that the fingers, you know when you have to have your fingers at an angle, just so it just stops us putting too much pressure into our wrists. Everything's up and in and engaged, whichever position you're doing. Take a breath in and then exhale and lift. Reach those fingertips away. Good. Breathe into the ceiling. Now, nice slow breath down. Yeah, we don't want any bumps. We want a gentle tap for those who are lifting. Breath in, up and over. If you're doing this in a seated position, I want you to make sure that your weight is staying equal through each of your sitting bones. So just make sure that you're not lifting off. Good. That's 3. Good. Keep those tummies engaged all the time. And up. Good. Breathe in and lower. Last one. Reach, reach, reach. Breath in and lower down. Good. Let's bring ourselves over onto our backs now. Bring yourselves on over into semi-supine position. Do that little checklist. Feet should be hip width. Spine is in neutral. Just walk those shoulder blades. Shifty the shoulder blades back up the mat a little bit. The chances are you've got a little bit more length in there. And again, draw the base of the skull. Use your hands, draw the base of the skull away. Okay. Let the body settle into this position. We're going to do some curl-ups. Let's bring the hands, interlace the fingers behind the back of the head. I want you to think about drawing in the upper and the lower abdominals, not only back to the spine, but also meeting in the middle there. And we want those pelvic floors lifted as well. So bring in the pelvic floors, take a breath in, and breathe out, chin to chest, let's go. Breathe in at the top, and lower back down. Really controlled. Good. Hold it for that breath. It's important that we have the pelvic floors lifted because as we curl up, we're putting quite a lot of pressure down into the bottom of our core. We need to counteract that with those pelvic floors. So everything's working in unison. And lower down. Good, we're just going to do 2 more. Good. The elbows stay wide, so they're just coming along for the ride. They're not helping you curl up. They're there to support the head and nothing more. Lower back down. Release your head and just have a little rock from side to side for me, just in case the neck's feeling a bit tense. Okay, what we are going to do next, and I'm going to give you a couple of options, is we're going to go chin to chest. We're going to roll up through, so everything's engaged, rolled up and in. And then we're going to reach down to the right heel, come back to center, and reach over to the left heel. We'll do it 3 times, lower, do it again. If you want to make it harder, so that's level 1. Alternatively, level 1 would be to keep the head on the floor, then it's curl up, and then it is bring your legs in, back into imprint, legs into tabletop, and do it there, okay? It's going to be harder to control your hips, so choose where you want to take it. Okay, here we go then. Choose where you're going. If you're rolling up, draw everything up an inch, into chest and up you go. Float the legs up into tabletop, and to the right heel first. So down the mat, and back, and the other side. Good. Reach, reach, reach. One more time. And back to center, breath in, and exhale, and lower down. If the legs are up, bring them into the chest. Take a little moment there. Okay, let's go again. If you're in tabletop, knees over your hips. Nice and engaged wherever you take it. If you're rolling up, chin to chest, up we go. Take a breath in and breathe out and reach to the right. Inhale back to center and swap. Good. And again, it's a slow, deliberate movement. Last one. And reach back to center, roll down, bring the knees into the chest. Good. Just rock your head from side to side because it will carry a little bit of tension with that one. So just ease it out, let it go. Good. Okay, let's extend those legs up to the ceiling. Flex your feet. You can hold on behind your calves and let's just bring them in there. Good. Release the left leg. Let's draw the right leg in for a little bit of an extra stretch. And let it go. Swap sides, bring it in. Yay, good. Okay, lovely leg stretch there. And again. Okay, bring the legs down. We are coming into some bridge. We're going to do a couple of standard ones, then we're going to do a few toe taps. Okay, any problems with your neck and your shoulders? You need to be very aware that we're going to be putting a lot of weight into them as we roll up. So you might find that you just want to do some pelvic rolls. Doing toe taps is another alternative here. So I want to see some toe taps if you've got any neck and shoulder issues that can't wait there. Or you might find that you can lift up to your waist, so do a half bridge, okay? So there's some adaptations. Be safe. Alrighty, let's go. Breath in. Breathe out. Start with your pelvic tilt, then roll up. Peel the hips away from the floor and the vertebra as far as you can go. Take a breath in there. Gauge those glutes. Keep the hips lifted and roll down. Good. If you're in semi-supine doing toe taps, what I'd like you to do, so keep doing your bridge. I want you 2 more bridges there. If you're doing your toe taps, the knee wants to come over, if you have a little look, over your hip. So your shin is straight up to the ceiling, okay? So you'll think about right angles. So rather than having the leg toes pointed up to the ceiling, lower it down, knees straight over your hip. So bring your knees further out. Okay. Stay online at the end of the class if you're doing your toe taps and we'll just have a quick look at it. Keep going. Okay. Well done. Lower down into that 3rd bridge. Right, we're doing toe taps this time. So let's roll up into your bridge there and toe tap. Float your leg into those right angles and down. Good. You're really going to feel your glutes engaging here. Good. If you want to keep both feet on the floor, you could do tiptoes. Just watch that doesn't then cramp up your calves. All right. Or continue with the roll up if you prefer. Well done. Let's do it twice more on each side. If you're going with the bridge, think about placing each vertebra down into the mat before coming back up. Good. Last one. Keep the hips up, breath in, and let's roll back down. And let it all go. Just straighten those legs out for me. Do a quick point and flex of the feet. Come back up. Good. Lovely. You know what? I think we're going to pause there. That was really great. Let's just have a little chill out. I think you guys have earned it. Find a position that's comfortable for you. Make sure you've got any supports that you need. So if you were given rollers or got a couple of cushions handy, whack one under your knees. And that'll just, it supports your leg, but it actually supports your lower back more. Normal things. Find a position that is comfortable for you. This is your wind down. If you need to move, if you just need to stretch and keep moving through it, do. If you just, want to have just 10 minutes doing nothing, then enjoy that too. Okay. Take a couple of deep breaths. And as you let them go, let the body release down into your new position. And if you're still getting yourself sorted, just take your time. Good. Let the body melt down into the mat. Think about how it's feeling after all the work that we've done. And then give yourself permission to do nothing, just for a few minutes. We don't get a lot of time to do nothing. And breathe into that and let it go. We're going to come and check through the body now. So we're going to start up at the head. You might want to rock it from side to side, especially if you have any tension in the neck. Or it might be just simply enough to just give the weight over to the pillow, the cushion and the mats beneath you. And let the neck soften. Let the shoulders go. Breathing into the chest and let your breath release and your chest settle. And moving down through your arms, your elbows, forearms, into the wrists, the hands and the fingers and thumbs. Be aware of the weight of your arms and your hands and let them go. Bringing our awareness now into the core of our body. Notice the expansion of your rib cage with the breath in and then release. The belly softens. Moving round to your back and thinking about the length of your spine. From the very bottom to the top of your neck. And let that awareness spread out across your back. And let the muscles go. And feel the weight of your body being supported by the mat beneath you. Traveling down to your pelvis. The lower abdomen, let it soften. And let the hip flexors go. Give the weight of the legs over to the floor or the cushion supporting you. Glutes soften. And the weight of your pelvis is supported by the mat. Traveling down through your legs, through your thighs, your knees, lower legs into your ankles and your feet. Let them go. And let your awareness just wash over the whole of your body. Be aware of its edges, its top and its bottom. How it feels to be still. And its points of contact with the mat. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Not having to do anything, but just follow the gentle rise and fall as the breath draws in and out. Take a big breath in. Let it go. Let your awareness travel outwards into your space. Just being aware of your surroundings. And we're going to think about taking a stretch. So just in your own time, take whatever stretch it is that you want to do, big one, little one. Good. We're going to think about moving and we're going to come into our child pose. So just pop any supports you've got out of the way. And when you're ready, in your own time, let's come on over. And I want you to have a stretch. So we're going to reach those arms away from us, settle the hips back, whichever position you're in your child pose. If your hips are lifted, do the same. And rest your head on the floor. Good. Release the arms, so bend the elbows, bring the palms up. Just be aware how much longer your spine feels. And hopefully you might find that your sitting bones are resting a bit closer to your heels now. It's a great position to take nice big deep breaths, really focusing them into your back. And thinking about the health of our lungs, we really want to encourage that breath to come into the back of our lungs. Good. Slide the hands a bit further forward and we're going to bring ourselves up into all fours. It could be on your forearms or your wrists, hands, wherever you want to take it. Let's take some cat-cows. So just check that you've got enough space for your spine. So you might need to walk your hands a bit further forward. Let's go. Take a breath in and then breathe out. Roll up into that cat stretch. And then inhale, release and have a look up in front of you. And again. Good. As you come into the cat, just check that the head is hanging free. Chin can come to the chest. Good. This is great. So we're getting the movement from the very top to the bottom of your spine. And come back to center. What we're going to do is we're going to bring your left foot in between your hands. Now, we are going to come into a lunge. If you don't want to do it on your knees, bring yourself up to standing and we can do it there. We can do it with the support of a wall, so put your hands on the wall there and we can use that as support. So from here, bring yourself up into kneeling. Yeah, good. All right. If you need to adjust yourself, so if you need to take your knee behind you a little bit further, you can do that, get a bit more stretch. And we're going to bend over the front foot. So again, remember, you can do this to standing if you prefer. Good. All right, what we're going to do now, take it back, straighten that front leg. Good. Let's come into a hamstring stretch. All right, bring your weight forward and we're going to swap sides. And forward. And let's come back. Good. All right. From here, we're going to come into a crouch. So the easiest way to do it is come into kneeling first and then bring yourself into a crouch or wherever you need to be to come on up. When you're ready, take a breath in, lift those hips, plant the heels, roll up through. Roll those shoulders down and back. Good. Come up to standing then. Give those arms a good shake. Give those legs a good shake. Give the middle a good shake. Just make sure it's all nice and loose. Come back, stand tall. Good. The only problem is now I've woken you up ready to go to bed, so that's kind of the downside there. But thank you for joining me. It's so lovely to see all of you. I'm just going to take a quick peek at toe taps and leg positioning. So if you want to stay online for that, do. If not, I will see you very soon and thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move some bits out of the way. I'm going to bring this down to here. There you go. Oh, there's a little microphone there. Okay, so toe taps, finer points thereof. Okay, so you can roll that pelvis back. So you can tilt the pelvis back so that you're in imprint, or you can have neutral spine. That's harder. So if your back's being a bit dodgy, I would say come into imprint. You're going to have problems with that. It's just going to support your spine a bit better. If you want to make it more harder and you're going to challenge your abdominal muscles more and your back extensors, then do it in neutral spine. Take a breath in and we're going to float the knee over your hip there. So you imagine somebody's got a stick, a straight stick, your leg will be in line with that. So what I see quite a bit is the knee coming into the chest. So you see it's more of a diagonal there? What I need you to do is bring that knee out. So let's have a play. Bring the knee into the chest. Now bring it over, so that knee is over your hip. Yeah. Drop the heel down. That's perfect. Yeah, good. Okay, so we've got right angles. Let's swap sides. Float the other leg up. Can you feel how those lower abs starting kicking in? Yep. And lower down. Good. I'm just coming up so I can see you a bit better. And up. And down. Yeah, okay. So pull in the tummy muscles a little bit more. It's a light tap with the toe and you're straight back up. The foot tends to come out now. I'm going to let my feet drift out a little so it's a slight more of an angle there. Good. So normally we would have the heels a little bit closer, but we want to slide them away. What that enables you to do is keep the right angle here. Now that bit is important because otherwise what can happen is the lower leg starts doing the work. So if I exaggerate that, if the leg's coming down, you're going to reach down with your foot to tap off. So can you see I'm tapping off there? So I want to keep the right angle, let the foot come out a little bit wider. Yes. Lovely. I think some of it was maybe slightly funny angle of your mat to your screen, so I was struggling to see, but that looks much better. So you should feel how the lower abs really engage, and it will challenge the back. So again, if they've got any problems with the back, just come into imprint for me. Yeah, that was good.